this is the only trading indicator that I use to help me to make over $30,000 per month in profits. And in this video, I'm gonna break down the entire custom setup of the indicator that is perfectly aligned with a high win rate strategy. So by the end of this video, you're gonna have the exact strategy that can finally make you profitable. As you can see, before we go on the indicator and strategy, I just want to show you my last month P&L/profits, and as you can see, I made more than $30,000 with almost 90% win rate. 90% win rate is possible only if you take the best quality setups, and as you can see, that is why I ended up every single week in green. If you follow the exact strategy aligned with the indicator, you can easily catch days like these. So when it comes to indicator and actual strategy, we are gonna have 3 simple steps. First step, obviously, it's gonna be turn on the indicator, and I'm gonna show you the exact name later in a minute. Step 2 is gonna be after sweep of one side, after manipulation, target the opposite side, and I'm gonna show the exact entry model that we are always gonna use. As you can already guess, this indicator is gonna show us and mark for us meaningful key levels of liquidity, so we don't need to do that. Because if we need to mark out by ourselves key levels, sometimes those levels can fail and sometimes those levels are not gonna be meaningful. But when this indicator actually shows us all the levels, that means they are meaningful. And the last step is gonna be trade management, how to enter a trade, where to put stop loss, and what to actually target. So step number 1 is gonna be the easiest one. You're just gonna come to the session open at 9:30 AM Eastern time, always 9:30 AM Eastern time, because this is where the market actually opens, where the big banks come in with a bunch of liquidity, and that's just the best timing to trade. Market is gonna have the best volatility, and you're gonna have good displacement and clean direction. As you can see over here, you're gonna have time frame throughout all this presentation, so you know on which time frame we are actually working on. Okay, so once you come to the charts after 9:30 AM Eastern time, this indicator is gonna show this meaningful high and this meaningful liquidity low, which is gonna be the range low and range high. Essentially what this is gonna show is London high and previous session low, which is London low. And this is very important because all these candles and all these highs and lows inside of this session are just liquidity and money resting in the market waiting to be collected. So what we are gonna do for the step number 2 is gonna be wait for the sweep, aka manipulation, and also this is gonna be on 5-minute time frame, but you can use this on 50-minute, 5-minute, 1-minute, you can choose whatever you like. And as you can see, this is how it's gonna look like. Manipulation happened, and now why 99% of traders are gonna lose, they're gonna see this as probably support or resistance, breaking to the upside, or maybe bullish fair value gap, and they're gonna try to continue this move to the upside, some sort of retest, and then continue with the trend. But the thing is, that is completely wrong, because we are gonna spot the last imbalance, which is gonna be the fair value gap. Fair value gaps always present off of 3 candles, so 1, 2, and 3, and this box in between is gonna be imbalance/fair value gap. And remember, we are only gonna look for fair value gaps after the sweep of the high or the low. In this example, we have sweep of the high, and then we are gonna wait for disrespect of that fair value gap or inversion. So we are not gonna wait for retest like all the 99% of traders that are losing in the market, but we are actually gonna wait for something like this, for market to confirm to us whether we are bullish or bearish, and we are gonna enter the market on closure, always on candle closure. As you can see, after this high is manipulated, all the orders, all the money was resting above these highs, and now where is money resting? Money is resting underneath all these lows. It's very logical. And if we are truly bullish, and if we have bullish fair value gap, this fair value gap should hold the price. But as you can see, this fair value gap never held the price, and we disrespected it and closed underneath, which is the first and the best sign that market is telling to us that we are bearish. And the last step is going to be enter on market closure. It is also on 5-minute time frame, but you can enter the market on 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, even 50 minutes, and I'm gonna show you exactly how later on live examples. So entry is always gonna be immediately after the closure, stop loss is gonna be above the last high or low of the candle, and you're gonna target the previous session low, which is the meaningful liquidity. And usually this is how your trade is gonna play out. And there is also one thing that you need to understand. Complicated doesn't mean profitable when it comes to trading. You can see how many indicators we have over here. You're just confused and you don't even know what to look for. So remember, complicated doesn't mean that you're gonna be profitable trader. In trading, less is more. So what is actually this indicator? Name is ICT kills plus pivots because it's gonna mark out session highs and lows. And when it comes to setuping this indicator, you're just gonna choose London over here. You can see that it's red color, the exact same color from presentation, and show kill zone boxes. And also if you want, you can turn on the Asia. It's gonna be blue over here by default, and I'm gonna show you how you can catch trades with using Asia session. So let's jump on the actual real examples from the real chart. Okay, so the first thing that you're gonna do, you're gonna go into the settings and you are gonna turn off New York PM, New York lunch, New York AM, and display text, because you really don't need all of this stuff. And also you can turn off Asia, but the thing is, I like to turn it on because we are gonna have more meaningful liquidity levels on the actual market. So that's gonna be all you need to do in the settings. So this is gonna be the perfect example, because you can see we have range highs and we have range lows, and these Asia range lows are never taken out and money is resting underneath these lows. The same thing goes with the London session. You can see these lows are never taken out and we have money resting here and money resting here. But as you can see on the opposite side, Asia high was swept and we have London highs resting over here. So our next job is gonna be just to wait for 9:30 AM market to open to see whether market is gonna manipulate the price underneath these levels, and then we're gonna target the opposite side, or if market is gonna take out first highs and then we're gonna target the lows. It's always simple as that, because we are just bouncing from one liquidity level to another liquidity level. Alright, so we have everything marked out and we are just waiting for 9:30 AM market to hit, and here you go. This is the 9:30 AM candle. So the problem that we have over here with all those ICT smart money concept traders is that they're gonna see this bullish fair value gap as a continuation of this move, and if I play the price, market is really gonna tap into this fair value gap. But the problem is they are not waiting for the actual closure, and as you can see what's gonna happen next. If you placed your long position without knowing that buy side liquidity is already taken out, these highs you're gonna get smacked immediately. So what we are gonna do, you can take a trade on the 5-minute chart like this with a huge stop loss above, which is more than 100 points, and you can target these lows. But this is negative risk to reward because this 5-minute candle just dropped. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna scale back to the lower time frame, which is gonna be 1 minute, and search for our entry. And as you can see, the first bullish fair value gap is gonna be this one over here after the sweep of liquidity, and you can take your trade immediately after the closure with a stop loss above the last candle, and you can easily target the London lows and Asia lows like this, or always 1 to 2 risk to reward. So do you see why I told you that you can always leave the Asia lows? Because you're gonna have better context and the overall narrative. So these are the Asia lows and these are the London lows, and if I play the price, we're gonna see how this is gonna play out towards the take profit. And maybe if you missed the first move, you can have always another opportunity, almost always, because market came here, returned to this bearish fair value gap, respected that fair value gap, and then disrespected the bullish fair value gap, which is telling you that we are again bearish, and you can target these lows something like this. And if I play the price, you can see how this played out towards the take profit. For this trade, it took a little bit longer, but still we entered this position at 9:40, and this ended up playing towards the take profit at 10:50, which means 1 hour of work for 2 take profits to hit. And if you ask me, that is actually amazing, because in just 1 hour you caught this beautiful almost 2 risk to reward trade and this 2.1 risk to reward trade. Alrighty, so the next example is gonna be a little bit different, but still it's the same thing, because you can see Asia low was taken out, London low was taken out, and also Asia high was taken out, which means the only thing that we have resting in the market is gonna be the London high. But as you can see in this example, we didn't have the immediate inversion and immediate entry because it's also not 9:30, and you can see that this low was swept at around 6 a.m. and now we're just gonna wait for 9:30 a.m. market to open. So we don't care what's gonna happen inside of this price section before 9:30 because we are not gonna trade it, and this is just where the job happens, so we are gonna avoid it always. And as you can see, as soon as this 9:30 candle opened, market manipulated underneath all these lows, underneath all the session lows, and now we are gonna target these London highs. Like I said, you can take a trade on the 5-minute, but what I like to do, I like to scale back to the lower time frame and actually catch higher risk to reward trades, which means on the 3 minutes you can also see that we have this fair value gap and we have this fair value gap that was inversed, and you can take a trade here with stop loss underneath the last candle, and you can easily target the London highs like this. Also, if you missed the first move, you still have another inversion of the fair value gap with a great displacement closing above this fair value gap, confirming to you that we are bullish with a stop loss somewhere around here, and you can target the highs and you can make it 1 to 2 risk to reward, something like this. So when you know where is the liquidity resting and how to hunt it, there's gonna be many opportunities for you to take the trade. And just for this video, I'm gonna show you how you can also take this on 1 minute. So this is gonna be the last 1 minute fair value gap that got also inversed, and you can take a trade here and you can target again the London highs. You are always targeting the London highs or London lows or Asia highs, Asia lows. So right now I'm gonna play this price, and as you can see, this is 2.3 risk to reward trade, and it literally skyrockets towards the take profit. And also keep this in mind, as soon as we hit the London high and we swept the London high, you can see that market immediately wicked and manipulated the price, which is really telling you how powerful and important these levels actually are. So that's gonna be pretty much it. If you want to maximize your win rate and maximize risk to reward, you always need to make sure to wait for those 9:30 manipulations, because imagine how many traders thought that this is breakout structure to the downside and that we have lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and that we are in downtrend. But the thing is, we are not in downtrend, we are just generating liquidity here, and above all these highs. And then as soon as market opened at 9:30, we manipulated those levels and skyrocketed towards the opposite side and took out all these liquidity levels. So you can really see how simple this is. And just remember, before I end this video, setup is not gonna present every single day, but when it presents, usually it's gonna play out. So that's gonna be it for this video. I hope that you liked my strategy and actually my approach to the market. If you did, smash that subscribe and never miss another video. Peace.